I get started, just pay attention to the commodities market here as well, because I have a feeling mining stocks are going to pull a reversal likely as they're getting hit pretty hard here. So is crypto. But I think a lot of this is, we'll talk about this getting into this. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. I'm loading up my stuff still. But it's an exciting day. I hope yesterday, if you're watching or if you're new to the audience, a big factor that we considered yesterday, especially for everybody who was disappointed they missed that bounce on the bottom. You know, maybe they weren't prepared. Maybe it's the first time. Maybe you didn't have capital, or maybe you just were afraid to pull the trigger, because obviously sometimes when you see 55, 60% down on some assets in one day, you know, and here's a good lesson for us all. If we were, and this is something that I was talking to Julie about before we started, which is why I want to bring it up. It's the perception, right? So we will buy something. Let's just say, for instance, something's at $2. We will buy it because we say we love it. It's the greatest thing. I love this asset, the technology. I believe in it. It goes down 60% in one day and we don't touch it. In general, 1 out of 10 will actually follow through. So the lesson and the homework I want you to go through is ask yourself after this live, if I am buying something today, I better damn well be buying it when it's 30% down, 20% down, even 10% down. If you hadn't bought it, or, you know, wherever that point is where you find it. But if you get a lucky, you've got money sitting there and you were about to buy something and all of a sudden it drops 60% on you, and then you don't pull the trigger, and then you buy it when it's 45% back returned, you're putting yourself in a shit grinder. So it's a great lesson for everybody who's ever been in crypto. Maybe it's your first experience, and even trading assets. But I can tell you for a fact, if I like something at a price and it drops down 60% in minutes, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. And some are like, well, how do you find the bottom? Well, you know what? It goes back to charting in that case, because I get a lot of questions about IOTA, and it's a good way for me to answer it during the live. But the bottom line with IOTA is when it drops, well, I redid this the technicals to line up with there. But where was this? This is supposed to be like this. When it dropped out, and I didn't know where the bottom was at, but I damn well knew when it dropped out past these zones, especially because there was a target we had out here. I wish I wouldn't have deleted it after the drop. I was trying to refine this so that it would be easier to read, not just for the audience, but for myself as well, because I wanted everybody to see that inverse head and shoulders. Even with that wick, it's almost like it didn't happen. You know, so it's a tricky thing. But for me, there was a measured move. I can't remember how far down it played. It might have been, I can't believe I deleted it. How stupid. I always like to keep it, but I know where it came from. It's just, and this is in the weekly, so you got to give it grace, because I didn't even think that's, no, that's not what it was. Ghost? Come here. Well, you want to go back outside? Oh, this cat, I swear. Weekly, massively oversold. So I suppose now we would have to, hold on. I suppose we're going to have to do this now. Oh, the all-time low. That's what it was. Duh. I talked about it in the Telegram. It went back and retouched the all-time breakout low. Duh. And I couldn't get it at the bottom. That's what it was. I talked about it in the Telegram. I'll show you the post. The all-time breakout low. I think Crypto Cooter asked me. That's what it was. The all-time breakdown low, it retested finally for the first time in its history. From where it broke out from its all-time low, it actually finally retested it. That's a huge moment for IOTA. That means it back-tested every single gap that was ever formed, by the way. Sorry, my cat wanted to go outside, but that's a... So Crypto Cooter, if you're in here, I haven't been really able to look at the comments, but it tested the all-time low on the breakout. Remember I talked about it, the low on the breakout. So that cleared every single gap that was ever left, if you think about it. Because after this bounced down, it never came back and cleared these gaps. So it actually cleared its all-time pattern. Now, if it goes to a new low, it would be devastating. Devastating. But it could happen, but the weekly's oversold, so that's why. That's why. But it made it easier for me because I would have loved to have got it under even where I did, but I got it at I'm not going to get mad about where I got it, obviously. Let's see, where is this? I think it was asked in here. Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't. Yeah. That was a breakout low. But it should have been the all-time low we talked about. Well, you're in here now, Crypto Cooter. Well, we had substantial breakdowns, but it should have been the all-time low, not just the 24. Because 24 only went down to like 9-something. That, you know what? They both play into it. Obviously, clearing out all the way. But when it broke those lows, too, I mean, that's all a big reason why. But obviously, retesting the all-time low was something I wasn't expecting to happen. Not in that quick of a form. But now it actually forms out the all-time pattern. So, like, it's got me thinking more this morning. And look at this setup. The only reason I care about this, what it broke down out of, is because if it gets back up in here, obviously we're going to cook. But I want to get rid of this. Because it did something substantial here. I think everybody who is watching this right now for IOTA can see this. It's actually formed the all-time setup. And as long as it stays within it, we have a perfect guide now. We didn't have the guide before. Now we do. This is great. I was just guessing before. Now I don't have to guess. Actually, if you want to be fair, it should be like this. I don't want to get the top. We'll just do it like that. Give it a little bit of room. It's close. See, my guess was good still. My guess was right on the... Look at that. What a guess. See, that was a pretty goddamn good guess, wasn't it? And that was without the evidence. I just had to guess. Nice. 2 cents. I'll take that. All right, I'm going to get back to XRP and continue this, but my brain had to go work, and I'm sorry, my cat had me flustered for a minute. When you have a cat that sits there and all the time, back and forth, meow, meow. I love my cat, but cats are interesting with their meow. But good morning, 10:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. That's what I was referencing before with IOTA. I sold it, 40,000, ended up with 80,000, but I did not, even at 8.6, it went down to, and this is what I tried to explain, like, it was a good buy, don't get me wrong, but like, if you want to look how far off of the bottom of the wick it actually was, by the time it even so it's like, no, it always looks good on the return, but what if it would have fell through after? Like, it was down at 7.8. By the time I was able to buy it at 8.6, it had already come back up 10.5%. So what if it had just rolled over? So I mean, there's always the risk there, and there's always the risk that this comes right back through. But I'm willing to take my chances here. I actually can't believe it retested the all-time low. I still can't. It's been how many days? I mean, it didn't hit it exactly, but it's pretty. So if it retests farther, it would probably stationary hit that. But usually you're looking for some kind of an uptrend on these. So I mean, after all these years, I could argue that that's cleared everything it needs to clear, unless it wants to come all the way through, and that's something we'll pay attention to. That's why it's important to get back above this, I would say 14.8. Realistically, you want to be on top of 15 cents to get back within this pattern that broke down. I guess maybe I should have kept it, but it's pretty easy to see it. Because it broke down, but here's the weird thing with all these things. They broke down, but they didn't really break down. Because they volatilely came up so much. So like everything is still within the exact same setups. Like even XRP did us a solace, for Pete's sake. It came out and filled this, which one's the best way to look at this? Everything. Let's see. It filled this broadening wedge perfectly. I mean, absolutely perfectly. And on this chart, it was at $1.16. So give it some grace because every chart was different. But it filled it. It fell out. And now it's back testing the pattern. It fell out. But I don't even want to look at it like this anymore. This is going to give us the improper reasoning. All you need to look at is it's up at the 20 days. So yeah, the pattern might have fell out. But the only reason that that's relevant, it's not because of the pattern it was in. It's because the weekly 20 days there. And what does that mean? You want to stay on top of the 20-day. What is insanely, hysterically, unbelievably, coincidentally beautiful is what do you want to do to confirm a pattern continuation? You want to retest it in the 200-day. It did it all in about 2 hours. It's one of those things. Hey guys, do you know where I can find the proper link to Tom's Telegram? There's a lot of fake. Well, that's for the members of Tom's Army because we had a lot of people scamming, and there's still a lot of people that try to scam. Trying to steal people's stuff, trying to imitate me because there's a bunch of fake ones. So, for safety, members of Tom's Army, but there's been a lot of donated and gifted subs, so one day you'll probably walk into one of those, even if you don't join Tom's Army, because we have very generous people here. And since it's a newer feature on my thing, people are, generous, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the way. And spamming has been going up recently, so it's yeah, it's no fun with all of that. That is a lot on YouTube and the social media platforms for not protecting us as influencers. They should never even allow somebody to have a similar name, let alone the exact same with a similar word differential. It is what it is. You'll even see somebody does an AI XRP Future Millionaire where I apparently become Indian with my voice. And that's circulating around as well. I can only imagine how much there actually is. So, for precautionary reasons, we had to do what we had to do. It sucks, but we had to do what we had to do. Jay from X, welcome in. Erici, Jacoby, thanks for being in Tom's Army 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Dan Marginal, thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Pop Wheelie for over 1 year, along with Mark Casson and Tom's Army with the I Told You So Badge. Appreciate that. Go to the gym, bro. Welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Love it. Thank you so much. Anna, I hope I answered, and I'm sorry that it can't be for everybody. We tried it, and it got out of hand to a point in 23 when I had to close it out for like almost 2 years, over 2 years, until people really wanted me to bring it back, but I wasn't sure. I'm still not so sure. I do love the community, though, so it won't be going anywhere. Scotty Trades, welcome in. Anthony Venegas, good morning. Miss G Stout, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Shane and Poppy Lou. Good morning, Army. This is going to go down in history as one of the best buying opportunities for this bull run. Oh, it's going to be the buying opportunity, this rotational, whatever it decides to do here before November. The real question we have to ask ourselves is, man, look how different the futures market is getting right now. That's a bit of a divergence here. Look at this. Interesting. Unless it's going to... Yeah, because it's going to eventually have... Well, I mean, it retested here. They're going to have this cross here. We're going to end up getting caught up here, retesting. It's about where this wick drops. I mean, 113.8. We could come all the way up to 113.8 to retest that, which means this is probably going to start shifting here. Sometimes, though, it forward runs it. But look, we came back and retested 109 again. Actually, we need to fix this because we need to come down. This is off. I hate when I do it from my phone and then come back on here because then it's supposed to be on the bottom because we track the wicks. So then it gives us the exact bottoming point. Because we're not worried about the third set of wicks. We're only worried about connecting the first two. That looks pretty good. Connecting it from here to here, a little bit of run through is not bad. And then look, it came down, basically came down. But I don't want to formulate it to where it's pushed into that just so we can fit what I... So I like it like that. And you can see it's retesting and affirming this hold here. So it held here as of right now. So far, what is that? 109,759. So it's trying to come... It's got to come out of here. Basically, it's got to come out of here. Otherwise, this is going to form a bear flag. Bearish pennant, maybe. Bear flag at, either way, it's going to form a bearish drop if this doesn't come out of this. And for Bitcoin, it's not the end all be all, but if this drops out of here, I still have a 92,000 target down below out of that rising wedge. Which really looks like that's what's trying to play out. But for crypto, can crypto sustain a drop from Bitcoin if it goes down another 20K? That's my question. Is it going to hold? Can Ethereum hold a drop like that? I would like to say yes, because at some point, if we want a real alt season, these tokens have to divert from Bitcoin. And right now, Ethereum seems to be building a massive, all kick in the dick, topping reversal if this doesn't hold. The Bart Simpson top, more famously known as this one. But then you start to pull it out into the weekly and you understand. It's a little bit more than just what it seems. This looks like it's back testing in a very big way and already has now. And could be trying to put in an inverse right shoulder, possibly in the weekly, which is very sneaky at best. Because if it does, it could drop all the way. Oh, it could come down a little bit farther. 38.50 roughly. That's another $100. It's going to continue to another 10% drop here, or another 4% or so to make it over almost 11% for Ethereum. I think this is we're shaking the tree now, and investors are like, I can't fucking get this right. I'm done. I don't give a shit about alt season. This is what happened in 24. It was beautiful. Actually, this is exactly what happened in 21, if you want to be frank. Literally, they shook the tree so much that XRP went down to 10 cents in 21. Literally, legitimately. So, and you're talking about the tree was shaking so much, it came down from imagine XRP now comes down from $3.70 roughly to 10 cents. That's what it did in 18 to 21. So you think it's bad, but you don't understand how bad it can get, especially if this turns into one big siphoning scheme for XRP, because they have these stupid investors, the institutional ones, that are allowed a different price in the exchanges. And I caused a ruckus in 22 and 3 when I went through these stupid, not stupid, but there was hundreds of pages we went through during the live. One live took like 3.5 hours to get through these because we went through the official documents of the court, what they released to us. But they redacted one spot. They didn't argue that there was different pricing, and it made it point blank that retail investors and institutional investors buying XRP were getting two different prices. They had two different categories. What it didn't show you was the price of both at the set time. So they redacted out the price, but not the fact that there was two categories. For some reason, XRP influencers and holders have just seemed to have acted like that never happened. My conviction is that nobody took the time to go through the 100 and something pages like I did and read it all on air, and to the point where we were like, and then we're like, wait a minute, what is this? Because I was reading through that. I specifically went through it because I wanted to see the pricing that institutions were paying compared to retail, because it didn't make any sense to me. It still doesn't. I kind of feel like there could be a lot more XRP out there than we even know. And that's why even with billions and all this stuff that comes in, it so easily just gets turmoiled back down. There's no other explanation, is that the institutions aren't paying the same price, and it's not even close. And that's a scary proposition. And I guarantee they're not paying more. Otherwise, they just go to the exchange. But you want to hear the scary proposition? And this is what I want to explain. It's not necessarily the fact that they're buying it cheaper. I don't care about that. That takes it off of the exchange. Or takes it out of the ecosystem, let's say. Not off the exchange, but out of the holdings. Which is also my speculation of we lock back up every month after the billion token unlock. We know where they're locking it back up to. So the problem is, let's say the institutions are getting it at 70 cents right now. When they load it onto the exchange, they're still selling it at 243. Which means we're eating that. That means we're causing artificial inflationary debt into the token, just like they do in the US dollar secretly. That's not a good proposition for, I want $100 a token if that's happening. That means institutional investors, the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to push up over time because the dollar's devaluation. And that's what I'm afraid of. We've seen this before in history. If the only reason the charts are going up is because the dollar is getting shittier and shittier, we're getting less and less as we cash it out. Right now, we're getting 10% less than we could get at the beginning of the year. If you go in terms of inflation in the USA, which means when XRP was at 350, we were actually getting 10% more. So it was as if it was 385. And right now, even though we're selling it, if you were selling it at 240, it's really, if you go back to the earlier days, it actually brings it back down, So I want to make sure, and I love XRP, obviously. And I've been holding this time around for a while, since the 34-cent time period. But yeah, in our community, we believe in buying more than we want, because then we can sell it after the big rally and hold still our initial holdings. And that's what I try to teach and preach. And right now, as much as we want to look at a bear flag in the short term, couldn't this technically be, with the way this set up, isn't this technically a bull flag that actually set up here by design, which will probably melt down a little bit just to throw people off, like the 219, or maybe it comes down to a little bit lower, but it kind of looks like it set some kind of awesome, which could be a pennant flag in the making as well. We just don't have the evidence yet. But I see something a little bit more, I think. And the fact, if we come back down and bottom, there's going to be a significant opportunity. Because if you did it the first time around and then you get some of these alts on it's just, there's going to be opportunity here. Now, understand, if this all goes haywire and bull season just ends, it's going to be the worst crypto winter we have ever seen, hands down. I just find it hard to believe. We're going to have midterms coming up here soon. Sorry, I didn't mean to do it like that. So if this structure holds, you can see a bull flag setting up. Now, if it melts back down, now let me just put it this way. If these melt, and not all of them are this significant because this is Coinbase, Binance. But if this melts down and depletes this and goes below, oh my God, are we in some trouble? This is what we could sustain. You have one of these unbelievable events that trickles down a little bit, but never ever melts back all the way, because the whole point of this was to clear out the liquidity we've been talking about for a very long time. And ironically, on Binance, they even cleared out the FEG at 92 and 83. Coincidence, or are we getting set up for something much, much larger while it's being shed in? Hey, we're down 6%. Look how ironic this is. So I'll take what's a bigger loser today. Who's the biggest loser? I'll do a perfect example. I think Epic, maybe one of them is. Yeah, Epic down 10.3%, right? Hey guys, we're down 10.3. Oh, are we? And I only say that because sometimes you get disguised here. So remember, we're consolidating here. Yeah, we had an overzealous run up here, but technically, if you go from the consolidation, it's still up 9%, and it's back testing. So, it's all about perception. Come on. Pull my other part of this back up. There we go. 4 hourly, those got room to clear. So, it looks like the thing that I would look at, if I'm being honest, it cleared out all the way down to the support. back test now the fact that maybe it's able to hold at 87 could be a possibility. That could be a place to look. It's nice though because the daily is starting to push up. It could push right back down though. Honestly, the weekly is still pushing down. So maybe we're gonna start. We can look at this different now. We have different evidence. Let's see. We could go to the all-time because we need to know the all-time. Where would this put us? Because if we see now, I'm starting to see it even better. If we broke down, you could find yourself in this falling channel, but right now it's broke out of this channel, even broke back within to a very nice way, and now it's going to look to maintain the outer edge of this channel. Oh, that's a perfect way to look at it. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. Now the question is on some of these no KYC exchanges, when you're up significant, do you take the chance of selling on some of it and then try to rebuy? That's up to you. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I want you to take your testicles out and put them on the table. So I suggest you just take the good bargain and try to find the next one. Ooh, look how much mining stocks already turned around. They were significantly red when I started this live. And I said, let's pay attention 26 minutes ago to miners. And I didn't look at them yet. But I said I have a sneaky suspicion they're about to reverse. Some of them did. Dolly Varden down 1.8%. Was up, what, 8-9% yesterday. Hecla is back within 1/4 of 1%. Silver Corp was down 3% this morning. Dolly Varden was down over 3%. Yeah, some of them have reversed. I like seeing some green here. I wasn't expecting to see so much green, but gold's now at $21 after correcting a little bit. Like, this is all stuff we need to pay attention to, because if gold keeps going up, there's got to be a reason why. So there's some kind, well, we already know why. The U.S. dollar just continues to get pounded into the dirt, even though it's trying to have a resurgence right now. I hate to break it to everybody. The dollar is done. It's toast. Over time, inflation and devaluation of our own standing is just going to pile drive it into the... It's just done. We've seen our lifespan in the dollar. Now we're in trouble. So I don't want to have Venezuela's type stuff is, hey, we're up this much because the dollar's worth this little, so now we have no choice but to push all of this up. That's something I don't want to have happen. So just be happy if you bought that big drop. And it's not a trader's game right now. I'll continue to say it. If you're looking for the maximum alt season, yes, I'm not arguing. If you bought some and then it's up 100% because you bought a good bottom, go ahead. Sell 1x of it. Keep half of it. And at least it's money in your pocket. But remember, you got to pay taxes on that short-term trade of up to 50%. It all depends on your income. So I don't talk taxes. I won't respond to it even in the Telegram because it's not in my lane. Because everybody earns a different amount. Everybody has short-term, long-term. There's so many different things based on different trades. Futures is different than spot. Capital gains from long to short is different. If I earn something different, let's say I earn $20,000, you earn $100,000, it's a different tax. So it's impossible to explain. So we kind of try to stay in our lane to what we know. I know exchanges. I know charts. I know tokenomics, I know economics, I know how money works, I know gold and silver, I know mining stocks, I know the energy sector, I know a lot of different things, but I'm not going to try to explain that, and I'm not a financial advisor. But I've been contacted by several different places by email that wanted me to come in for an interview, and it's like, for what, $75,000 a year to sell my soul? No, thank you. Oh, but there's commission and this. No, thank you. I'd rather just do this. I'm an analyst on my own. I'm a self-employed analyst, self-taught. There's no better way. Pete Moser, welcome in, and thanks for being in Time Zone for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens along with Messi. Appreciate that. Mr. Stott in here along with Mrs. Stott and Poppy Lou. All three of you in Time Zone for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Crypto Cooter, good morning. I hope you were able to see that IOTA explanation. And thanks for being in Time Zone 6+ months with the XP Predictor, along with Frankie Fresh, and also a very trusted mind in here and in the Telegram, Crypto Cooter. And Frankie Fresh, I hope your hand's doing just a tiny bit better this morning. You're getting just the smallest bit of movement. We call on God for his grace. Amen. J.A. Pick, welcome in. Pixo, welcome. Good morning, friend. Omar, good morning. And thanks for being in Townsend for your second month with the Dusty Dottos Crypto News. John, welcome in, friend. Areli, good morning. I'm glad I was able to communicate with you even on Facebook. How awesome is that? I think that's pretty cool. Rejuvenated, Robert Latham, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Mo, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. John, you don't need the bottom. You do not need the bottom. You just need to somehow expose yourself to the lower end of those wicks, just because a lot of times you do melt back. We don't know how much is going to fill, but we'll see. We'll see. You know which one I'd be watching too, because I've got some capital to the side for this one even more, because I was able to get a little bit, but I've been explaining the fact that I want at least 500,000 tokens, and I was only able to get a couple 100,000 under a penny, and I was not happy about what filled because I was too late to the party. But I don't have nearly what I want. Like, when you talk about not even $2,000 went into the order, I was a little pissed off because it filled so quick, and I was doing other things I didn't realize. I thought it all filled, so that was on me. But I was more interested in the moment in IOTA. But I still have, I think it said, almost $3,000 to put into this in that little fund there on TOOBIT. So I'm looking for any kind of opportunity. Really, I am. And it's dropped back down 7%. So there's going to be buying areas, which it very well could be within, because I have a sneaky suspicion that even if these break down, we're going to know the breakdown target because it's setting up a setup for us right now as we speak. So if you're looking for this, we can very clearly see that it's setting us up some kind of direction here, which is what you need to follow. So you want to follow the direction the chart's giving you. So this is the direction for Linea, and there's no reason to talk about it until it finally sets it up for us. But this is what it's setting up now. I can argue that that set up a bull flag there unless it breaks down. Pennant flag, actually, if you want to be precise, if you want to be responsible in your analysis, because we made a high, lower high, a low, a higher low within the pattern. So we're taking the high from here, lower high, the low from here, lower or a higher low, which means we're forming a bullish or a pennant flag. This actually isn't a bull flag, it's a pennant flag. So for Linea right now, we're looking for one more confirmation on this uptrend and one more hit on resistance. So maybe it comes to resistance or comes to, we prefer for it to come to 175 first. So resistance, support, resistance. You need 3 hits on a pennant to form the pennant flag. So this is just speculation, conjecture, and bullshit at this point. But this is what I'm seeing trying to form. So, David Hoff, S. Wimbush, Dan Marginal, thanks for being in town during 3+ months with the XP Meter. Florida Attorney, good morning. Says to all my fellow cannabis smokers, hell to the yes. Well, you know, it helps. It helps. For the ones who trickled in and the ones that trickled out, I feel sorry for you. I sure do feel sorry for you. Can't imagine where you're going to head out to. That would be more important than the knowledge you could gain just by listening to the chart right now. This is literally your golden ticket. But everybody wants to skip it. And then they come back after and say, would you buy it now after it goes up 78%? No, I would have bought it in the consolidation when it actually was proving it to us that we were consolidating potentially in a very bullish fashion. But we'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. Levi, welcome into Michigan, indeed. A horrible state of Michigan, by the way. It's kind of ironic. You know what happened? My Michigan, notice I have like a couple different ones. But the day Michigan lost to USC before the game, this came off. Notice how it's Michigan. You know what they do now? And if 1970 Legends watching, because I'm sure he has a hat. You look at your symbol on your hat for the 24 hat, or yeah, for 24. They don't even stitch them in anymore. They stitch the championship stuff, and they fucking glue this part on now. so that they don't have to make 2 sets of hats. I'm not even joking. It's a bunch of... and I noticed it the first time with the Big Ten championship hats when we finally won it. I didn't know because we didn't win it for so long. Oh, this cheap shit. I ain't stitching it on anymore. Yeah, it's bullshit is what it is. And then look, this wears out so fast it starts fading the sun in like 6 months. So I have a permanent hat that never comes out that stays in the closet. For God's sake, it's going to fall apart. It's not like we won the championship in 95. This was 23. It hasn't even been 2 years. Can you get a trend line from the first triangle this year to the second triangle? They line up on the candles on the low side as support. Ooh, I like that. Are you I'm assuming you're talking about make XRP great again for XRP. They do line up pretty good. Hold on. But we'll look at that too. I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can. John Patak, welcome in and thanks for being in Time Zone for over 2 years with the XP 589 Moonbed. Mark Korf, good morning and thanks for being in Time Zone for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. The Cannabis Podcast, welcome in, and don't forget to follow his channel as he's searching for that closing into the 500 subscriber mark on YouTube. I appreciate you being in Time Zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor and for putting out all the information on cannabis, the holistic side of it. That really helps people, a lot of people, so I appreciate it. And good morning to you, friend. Mr. Bank Foreclosure, welcome in. After 92K, there should be up from there, blue skies. There should be. Bookmap shows 92 to 95 on Bitcoin. Where would XRP price be at? Drop to 92K, kill. It all depends. Is this where the altcoins would divert from Bitcoin, or are the altcoin and Ethereum in particular going to follow it right down? That's the question of all questions. Because in alt season, Bitcoin should tank. The dominance should go down. So at some point, we're going to have to divert from Bitcoin's dick if we want to have an alt season. It's just the way it goes. And that could have been the top we were searching for. It really could have been. The breakdown from the rising channel, it tapped it fucking perfectly. The wick did. I didn't put that at 62.19. We just moved it down to where it hit after. We had it at like 62.4. But I move it to where it actually hit it because I didn't know where it was going to hit it on the rising resistance. So if that plays out, but we need this to fall out of favor. We need Bitcoin dominance to drop and we need Ethereum to divert from it. So what I mean by that is we need Ethereum to go to 92 and we need Bitcoin to go to 92 and we need 35, 38 to be the floor now for Ethereum. Otherwise, we're fucked. We came out too early. As I've said before, we're too early. And the actual proper bull market is not until the apex zone is the 27th or June of 27. It's not even next year. So we don't want to fall back in here. Otherwise, yeah, we're fucked. We could come back to 23.59 for Ethereum easy. Because if you don't hold the resistance, you have to come back to the support to see if you can hold the pattern. So there's some part of me that says, Tom, you're strategic. You're up 75% on some of these in days. Others 50, 60, 45. You got a decision to make if this falls out. And it's going to be an easy decision to make. You know, well, maybe not easy, but it's going to be a decision that's going to have to be made. There's no doubt about that. So, because if there's going to be a double bottom, I'm going to sell this. Well, maybe not. It all depends. I'm not saying I'm selling it. Don't quote me. But I would sell it and then just rebuy it back on the double bottom. Or worse. The whole reason why I went in so deep on that breakdown. Because I'm like, at the very least, Tom, you know what you can do here? You can make magic. Make magic, baby. And you got a lot of room to test this because there was a lot of upside liquidity. Still a lot of upside. There ain't no downside liquidity. All the damn charts cleared out all this downside liquidity. That's why it's ironic. It's like, do we really think it's just going to fall out of favor again? Or is there something more sinister? Like, was this a very devious plot to get rid of all of the leverage traders? All of the spot traders that just couldn't handle such a big drop? I mean, I could also ask, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but are we building something like I'm not afraid to look. I want to ask the question. Like, is it possible we're building something like this and it's just going to take longer? We don't know until it's formed. Is that possible? Because if it is, you see what I'm going at here. Like, substantial gain was just made, and then you just buy it back on the next tap. The problem is you're taking a big chance because the weekly's oversold. Now there's no doubt about that. The daily's moving up. The 4-hourly's pulling down. And the only way you can logically make that decision is just going with the gut feeling. Like, that's what you're looking at the entirety of this whole thing. That's where we're at right now. So it's like, which side are you going? XRP, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's XRP's job now, if it falls out, to be able to hold that $1.77 to $1.82 zone. I don't make the rules. That's just how it sets up. Otherwise, we're going to come all the way back down and retest this big-ass candle drop. And oftentimes, when you have a drop like that, I hate to break to all of us, but we melt down. And right now, we came up for a perfect rejection. So if you're asking me, based on what the technicals are telling me, it's telling us to probably cash out and rebuy it on another substantial drop here. It comes with a lot of risk, and I'm not a financial advisor, but the charts are starting to point in that direction here, ladies and gentlemen. So, and that's why I like the NO.KYC exchange, because I can buy and sell, and then when I send the profit and everything, I'll deal with it with the tax time. But for now, if I got to do something, but I don't know. The charts aren't 100% on that because we're oversold big time on a lot of these, and not just the daily, but starting to creep up in the weeklies now. So I'm not telling you to sell because that could very well cost you a lot of money here. What I am saying is we got to pay attention to what's happening. There's an unsubstantiated amount of liquidity, but all it takes is a little inflection here. And the later we get into October, I don't necessarily like that idea of just getting rid of everything and hoping for a second falling knife. You got the falling knife. You get thankful for the falling knife. And to do it again, obviously would take understanding, but the closer we get to November, the more of a risk this is. And we're only 2.5 weeks out now. About 2.5 weeks out. The closer we get to November, the harder this is. Because now everybody's, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing across the board, a lot of people are expecting this to drop again. Am I misreading what I'm seeing across the board? Because even the ones that were convinced that it was a good buy for a lot of this, even though it's 30% cheaper still, they're not willing to touch it because they're convinced that we're going back down. So a lot of the market psyche is suggesting we're probably going back down. And when that happens, I just like to kind of stay the opposite. So even though I could sell it, would I? No, but what I would do is like with Band. I had 12,200 and something tokens. I sold it down to 10,000. Simple stuff. You know, you take a little bit of profit off of the side, but you keep intact your bag you want. And I wanted over 10,000. I had 10,222. That's something I'm okay doing when it was up. I think there was one other I did that with. I think there was. I can't remember. But I'm okay with doing stuff like that. Like I can do it with debt. I wanted 5 million. I got 8.4 million by virtue because how cheap it was. So could I sell it off? Sure, I could sell it down to 5 million, but will I? I don't know. It all depends if it breaks certain areas. So hi, Tom, with the October 10th wick, doesn't it cancel the bull flag pattern that targets for? No. It wasn't a bull flag that targeted 460 to 530. That wasn't my target out of a bull flag. That was the target out of a descending consolidation that took from 2011 all the way out to 2018 in January, all the way out to what the hell was it? November of 24. That's the target that gave me this. The target that gave me 549 to 638 doesn't even have anything to do with any of this. This whole thing would have to be invalidated. You would have to break back down, because in theory, and I like to bring the scary propositions. In theory, we've never had a volatile retest of this breakout. And the longer we go without it, in theory, we could back test this. It would make the target different, no doubt about it. But the target that gave us the 539 and ultimately the other, it came from the cup and handle. It was formed out of this entirety of this pattern. So no, it wasn't a bull flag that actually caused it. It was actually this big cup and handle that was formed out of this pattern. I think I have it drawn on one of these in the market cap or something. Yeah, this. That target's actually, even though this is by market cap, it's easier to see. This target's actually created by something different. It wasn't a bull flag that set it up. We're actually just back testing the cup and handle that we needed. So, and there's a lot of ways you can look at it on different charts, but that's what actually is forming this. It has nothing to do, in my opinion, the bull flag could have got us up there that was set up, and now it turned into a broadening wedge. So that bull flag is absolutely invalidated in most cases. That's not a bull flag anymore. But the way I'm looking at it, oh man, it's so hard. I need to put it back to the other one. The way I look at it is how the market cap is. It made an all-time, and we drew this out a long time ago. That's why I keep it. And look at the market cap significantly, getting into that significant oversold area in the weekly. So everything's still intact for that push up. Everything's still intact. In fact, it's more intact now than it was before that drop, in my opinion. So when everybody's becoming very fearful, I'm becoming very, very optimistic and happy. Not just that, the market moved back into fear, for peep's sake. What do I always say? Buy the fear, sell the greed. Today it was in neutral, but I doubt that's the case after this movement. And why is it even on that one? I hate that one. Yeah, perfect example why. I couldn't even keep up. It's at 38 right now. Is that what it is? Yeah, so back into fear now. Last week we were in greed. So you're supposed to buy the fear, sell the greed. So by definition, you're supposed to be buying now. So I know I missed some comments because it skipped through it. I apologize. But we're already 50 minutes. Oh my God. Christopher Brown, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I really appreciate that. True, welcome and thanks for being in Tom's Army for the second month with Dust House Crypto News. I read your message. I forgot to respond to it. I apologize on the email. I was very happy to read it though. I won't read it to the audience, but I really appreciated you commenting. And I want you to know I did read it. And I was touched by your message. The fact that you even reach out, and just being grateful for the community and everything. And, it was just nice to read. Texas Papa, welcome. And WeX, the best one for low fees or TOOBIT. Apples to oranges, but I would say TOOBIT at this point. And, but on both, you can't go wrong. There's a link in the video description below and or pinned comments of this very chat if you're looking for it. TOOBIT, it's tough to say because they both have really cheap fees. TOOBIT, though, I noticed if you have to do a market order, it gives you better pricing. So that's something to always consider as well. I don't advise market orders, but sometimes in high volatility, you got no choice. If you're a leverage trader, I would go with TOOBIT. It was definitely a little bit cheaper from that side of town. Not that I like the leverage, but I have to test it all out. And then if you ever want to copy trade, TOOBIT will be in the future. It could very well be. I'm thinking of, I want to do it with Linnea, I think, on TOOBIT. I think that would be a cool way to do it. I think they have it on there. I could look here. But I have capital. It's just a matter of which token that I wanted to do it with. And when it was high volatility, we didn't even have anybody that was copying me, so it didn't even matter. But now that we're starting to get, interest, let's see. I gotta go into my thing because they updated my name to XRP Future Millionaire. I hope they didn't clear it out and make me redo this whole thing again. It's possible when they reset my name. I hope not. Let's see. That would suck. I don't know. I might have to. You might have to refollow me, everybody. That would suck. Because I think they reset my. Because it said 2-bit Pro Trader, and I don't want it to say 2-bit Pro Trader. I want people to know who I am. Yeah. So I don't know. Let me take a search for myself now. Yeah. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire now on here. So. So I mean, we might have to redo it. So pay attention in the Telegram. Interesting. Well, I would have kept it the same if I would have known that everybody's gonna have to refollow now. Well, this is some. I swear, everything's so difficult all the time. Anyhow, something we'll have to pay attention to. If it breaks down for XRP, what's the worst case scenario? Oh, like that's what we were getting at with the chart down here. If this broke down, worst case scenario, how bad does that look? What is that number? And just out of curiosity, I spoke of this number one time in the live today. What would that retap that has never been retapped from what year and what incident happened, and how ironic would it be if it actually did fall out there? What number is that? What significance is that number for XRP? And we know that gap's never been filled. I'm just asking everybody. I'll tell you. That was from the lawsuit announcement in 2020. XRP went down to 10.2 cents. Wouldn't it be ironic if it came all the way back down there and filled that gap all these years later? Remember, it filled the resistance gap all the way up at $3.60 something cents. What if it did come all the way back down? If you're asking me worst case scenario, we double top, this is a rising wedge and it's over. That's why you have to consider after each of these drops to actually significantly take the profit back and then see what the market's going to do. You have to consider it. But don't sell it short. Make sure it falls out of your perceived areas. Because you're not going to want to, it's obvious, you're not going to want to give it all back. If you just had a significant rebound, would you want to give back 50 or 75% returns and just give it all back? So, yeah. Do I want to sit through a 50% drop? No, and I'm not going to. So once I get the vindication or validation that I need to get out of the way, I'm going to do it again. I don't care if I get out of the way for 35%, but I will. But I'm not going to do it before I get the proper validation. But we're getting there. It's a very dangerous and scary proposition is all. Man, we've created a shit show here though. If this does break down, yeah. It's nice that we're back in the fear. Can that? Oh, it absolutely can happen. Because I have a deep, dark feeling that crypto could still be very overvalued. I said it a long time ago, and it's not as big of a feeling now that most things are down 90%. But come on, there's billions of tokens with no revenue, with the price just actually going up because somebody's willing to pay more than you did. So yeah, there's a possibility that this market is severely overinflated, just like the stock market, and without easy capital, this is what happens. Remember, they need retail piled in so that when the big players sell out, and most of them aren't even paying the same price we are, which is the pain in the ass, we have to carry the load. So we try to find those moments of reckoning. We really do. So now I'm struggling with the fact that, I can get out of the way of the rest of this if it's going to happen again. It's just, you got to make damn sure, because look, algo's back in the consolidation. So you would not sell to get out of the way if it stays in here. Like, these are showing signs that this could have been the most The biggest epic fake out of all times in process. Like the biggest bear trap we've ever seen in the history of crypto. Remember what that means. If it's the biggest bear trap, and remember I've been saying this bull season or this alt season isn't going to be like the other ones. It's going to reminisce of 2018. You need massive amounts of liquidity and fear for that to happen. We just got the biggest liquidity tug ever. Ever. It wasn't even close. 1.8 million traders were outright liquidated during the event. I can't even imagine what's happened now. So, I just, like I've been saying, prepare for a proportional alt season like you're not used to unless you're around in 2018. But that comes with risk. That means we could still be early and it could take until 27 or 26. First, second, we could theoretically be early, but the most bullish season for crypto is November. The only question is, where does it start green? Because that's what it never shows you. The reason November is the greenest typically for crypto is because September and October are the two most bearish months. So yeah, you're obviously going to get a kicker in one month. Otherwise, you're going to go down to zero at some point. So yeah, November's fun, but can you get there? Are you intact? Do you have the right pricing? Do you have the right buys? Do you have the right holds? That's why this is the fun time. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I'm going to let each and every one of you go. I got to go take care of some stuff. My son's in school. I want to finish what I've been doing. And yeah, that's what I got. And hopefully tonight we'll be back live at 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhere between 5:30 and 6 for an hour. And we'll continue this discussion. I've had a very, 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 very nice time here with all of you. I really appreciate it. But we need to see what's happening. I have a strong feeling, though, that this could end up going down in history as the strongest bear trap in the history of all. We'll see, though. And they're trying to come up with a new word. It's the debasement trade. The debasement trade. They're trying to say crypto and gold and silver is the debasement trade. Gold and silver is the debasement trade. Real money. Don't lump it in. All these clowns that are saying crypto and gold and silver is the debasement trade against the dollar. No, it's not. No, it's not. Gold and silver is the debasement trade. Commodities. Crypto is a risk asset of all risk assets. Like, don't get it twisted. I love crypto because of the returns we're going to get, but it's not a debasement trade. Unless you're looking for the depancement trade. I agree, it's a depancement trade because you didn't see gold and silver go down 65% in 30 minutes, did you? You didn't see 1.6 million holders of gold and silver bullion lose it all in 1 second, did you? So if you want the depancement trade, but I want the, so that's all I'm saying. So be cool. Be cool. Understand what's going on. We do have some news today. Notice how the stock market's conveniently bouncing off the bottom in what looks like to be a nice V-shaped recovery. The Dow's only down 70 points now. Well, actually, in the 4-hourly, it looks like dick. But if you look at it overall from the drops and from the, well, I guess you'd have to look at it even in a shorter time. Why is it going so slow? I can never. But you see how we came out of the V shape. So unless this falls out, you got to fall below 45 to invalidate this structural hold. So, I mean, there's a lot going on here. There's just so much going on. I think everybody talks shit about gold, silver, and commodities, mining stocks, because they know it's the trade of all trades right now. So pay attention to Dolly Varden. 13.2% of the float's going for 650 or more. Some's already guaranteed at 9. These are institutions that have already guaranteed to buy it. Some are already paying for it at 3.2%, have already purchased it at 650 or more. So it's severely undervalued. Steel is all around the board. Commodities, yeah, you might get a short-term downflex because it's already gone up 100% and more in some of those miners. But it's not even close to where it needs to go. A lot of them aren't even close to all-time highs, believe it or not. So, you know, just consider all of this stuff. Crypto, pay attention to what I've been talking about. The possibility of a 50% drop again, it's not out of the question. but it's going to have to break down these barriers we talked about.